Welcome back. I know we didn't have a show last week. That's because I was traveling.
We didn't have a show last week.
Just turn that down. I was traveling and I didn't make it home in time. And just like today, I was also traveling. I went all the way down to Corning, Hornell, and Elmira, just doing some more work. And like I normally do, just got back in at around I want to say 8:30. No, I'm sorry, not 8:30. 7:30. I just needed to make dinner in time for dinner, and also to get things ready for the show. And so here we are. We have a lot of highlights from last week's trip to Niagara Falls that I'll be sharing later on in the show. And we got some more hidden treasures in the show and tell segment, including past photographs from all the way back in the, I want to say, late 2000s, early 2010s. If you want to take a look at that, I will try to show you those in a minute, or in the later segment. We got our famous Pump It or Dump It. We got a lot going on within the next hour. But we'll start probably by getting a. I know it's probably not a favorite subject to discuss here in any fashion, but the traveling for work has gotten me thinking a lot about work schedules, and even though I do enjoy traveling a lot, it does get tiring after a while, and I have to go with sometimes with a gruesome schedule. For example, this morning, my first job. Yes, I should be on. Yes, I should be on, Laura. I don't. Anybody else? Elizabeth's the only other listener who's on, and Elizabeth? Can you see and hear me? If Elizabeth can, then there must be something wrong with Laura's browser or something. I don't know exactly. I don't know exactly what to tell you, except I got this new phone, and the goal of me trying to get this new phone, or at least the goal of me using this new phone, is to try to understand how mobile listeners view. To see how mobile listeners view and experience the show and the station. So I don't know what to tell you if you can't get on. I'm gonna try testing it from this phone and see what I get. Sometimes you wouldn't see a browser, and I just don't know exactly. And because I'm in host mode, and so that makes things a little bit different. And we just had a listener come in. Welcome to the new listener. Can you see and hear me? That's the first question, because we have a listener named Laura who is not able to see and hear my live feed. So, is everyone able to see and hear my live feed? If not, please let me know, and we'll try to get this. We'll try to get this fixed. In the meantime, we're going to go back to the music here, and we're going to try to sort this out. So stay tuned. Testing 1 2 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 1 2 3. Can you everybody hear me? Can everyone hear me? Can everyone see me? I only asked because Laura was having a difficulty time hearing and seeing me the first time that I was on. And I want to make sure that nobody else has any more technical difficulties. So please, let me know in the chat before we go any further. Okay, Meg can see and hear me. What about the rest? What about the rest of you? Okay, Rachel, Ken, Elizabeth, Mom's just signed on. Can you see and hear? Can you see and hear me? Elizabeth and Alex and Laura Can everybody hear me? And I'm only saying this because we've been having a lot of difficulties. Yes, we've been having a lot of difficulties. Laura currently, for example, was having difficulty seeing and hearing me, and I don't really want to exclude any listeners. So as soon as I hear from Laura in the chat, I think there's a problem. It's probably a problem with her browser. I'm I'm Facebook messaging her as we speak. So I'm sorry that I'm staggering here. And in the meantime, I'm just going to get back to the conversation about all this traveling for work. And even though I love to travel, sometimes it's grueling at different schedules. And sometimes it can get overwhelming. But if it's all in the name of making money and doing what I love to do, then I'm sure it's worth making the money. But there are a lot of there's some negative things that come with it. Mostly working with this company called Barrister, the jobs that they give me are things that sometimes I don't really know what to do. Things I haven't done before, but that's the part of learning, and that's the part of increasing my skills. If I just stay at the same place there, I won't be able to grow, and I wouldn't really be able to expand my resume or expand my skill set for jobs that I want to do in the future. And everything is all well and good there. I just wish that there's times when I could have a more relaxed type of schedule and not really pulled in different directions. Today, for example, I went down to Elmira and then Corning, and then I had to go all the way down to a town called Olean. No, not Olean. That was on Wednesday. I had to go all the way to Hornell, and sometimes it was a little bit nervous. The point being, great, Laura, you can see in here. Essentially, what I was saying. I like the work that I'm doing, but sometimes I wish that I had more flexible scheduling, and that I would be able to take some days off, and I'm not being pulled in from one direct. I'm not being pulled all over the state, because sometimes the traveling can get a little bit gruesome. We are going to quickly take another song break, and then after that we're gonna do the show and tell segment. And I have a lot of material for that. I'm gonna show you the highlights from our trip to Niagara Falls, that Mom, Rachel, and I took last weekend. It was a lot of fun, and we enjoyed ourselves. And now I get to share it with all of you. This is right here on the pre-weekend kickoff for Ever Living Radio. Kickoff for Ever Living Radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, as you know, we have something special down here at Birdland this evening. A recording.
You know that if you know me, if you don't know me, I'll explain. Whenever I hear a song that has a trumpet in it, it always reminds me of you know who. And for those of you who are listening right now, the first to guess the name of the person that I'm referring to, you'll get a virtual prize. Not really a prize, but you get the point. We're going to move on now to the highlights from our trip to Niagara Falls last weekend that Rachel, Elizabeth, Mom, and I took for Mom's 70th birthday. We went out. It was cold. It was snowy. Started on Saturday. I went ahead of Rachel, Mom, and Elizabeth because I actually had a job, clear captions phone installation in the state side of Niagara Falls, and and then we all met up at 2 p.m. We all got over the border safely, and this was quite interesting because this was my first time alone traveling in a foreign country. Believe that or not, this trip was the first time that I was traveling alone in a foreign country before Rachel and Elizabeth joined up. But we did a lot of interesting things. The main highlight was to go see the winery up in Niagara-on-the-Lake, the Wayne Gretzky Estates. As soon as I can try to figure out how to get this rolling, we'll get this set up and move into full screen mode. Here's the lobby of the Wayne Gretzky Estates. For those of you who don't know, Wayne Gretzky is a famous Canadian hockey player, and he's one of the greatest hockey players of all time. And because I know Mom, Rachel, and Elizabeth love to drink wine, I don't, we thought this would be the perfect place to go. And as you can see here, there's the lobby itself is pretty exquisite. This is, again, a poster showing the land that this is on. Again, this was the homes. This was the probably Wayne Gretzky's childhood homeland. There's a little bit of information about the place. Here's some more photographs of Wayne as a child and as a hockey player. And there he is playing for the Oilers. And now we move into the distillery itself. This was actually taking place in the distillery, and the tour guide told us all about how these work. These are essentially where the something beer? Oh, the distiller's beer goes in. So we have air going through one of these tubes while the distiller's beer, the liquid, meets up halfway. And they do more than just produce wine there. They also make vodka, whiskey, and other types of things. And our tour guide described these as kind of like flutes, and I can see that. And again, these are where the liquid is held. And while we were in the lobby, or while we were in the gift shop, I noticed that they were selling one of these games here, bowling shuffle desktop game. So you could either play bowling or shuffle. You can either play tabletop bowling or shuffleboard. I thought that was interesting. Now this is the hotel. This is the Embassy Suites in Niagara Falls. Now there's a story about the hotel itself that I'll get into that I thought would be interesting to share with everybody. Again, this is Embassy Suites, Niagara Falls. We're on the 30th floor. And you don't see it, but this couch pulls out into bed. So I had this half of the room, or this part of the suite, for the night, and there's the view of. You can see the falls. And it's interesting how you could see the Canadian Horseshoe Falls just light up at night. And again, this is the view from the 30th floor. And Rachel, Elizabeth, and Mom had these two beds for the night. And I like it that way because I like to have my private space. It gives me more freedom to do what I want to do. And again, this is the view from the hotel room at night. And I just want to highlight the beauty of seeing the falls and how neat it is that the falls just light up at night. This is our second trip to Niagara Falls, by the way. My second trip. I know Mom, Aunt Janet, Elizabeth, and Grandma Novumps went in 2009 to ride the Maid of the Mist, and there's pictures involved with that, but I don't have them, and I didn't go for some reason. And here is the view of the falls during the daytime, and as you can see, that's the Niagara River over there. and this is looking out, I think, from my window in my part of the suite. And here you can see this was the room where we had breakfast. The only difference between this room and our room is that from this room you could see the American Falls, whereas from our room you couldn't see the American Falls. And it was interesting because you can't really see that, but that card says occupied, but the occupants of that table didn't show up yet. And again, here we see more views from the hotel, and this is just a snippet view. This is just a video showcasing a panoramic view from the room once again. And the whole part of this, the interesting part of all this was there was a travel ban in Erie County because of all that snow in Buffalo. And this was around the time we didn't know exactly what we were going to do. We didn't know if it was safe to travel back through all the snow in the Buffalo area. And keep in mind, this was a Sunday, so that meant that there was going to be a Bills game that was originally scheduled to play that day. It was moved to Monday, but let me tell you, it wasn't pretty going back. It was there once we got on the thruway, and once we actually got going back towards home, there was a lot of snow that we had to contend with. And then once and we took two separate cars because, again, I went ahead of everybody. Yes, I went ahead of everybody else, and if I went ahead, I'll go back to the picture where Wayne Gretzky grew up. Okay, let's see if I can go back to. Give me one quick second here. Okay, where is that button? Oh, the Wayne Gretzky homestead. I think it's this one here. It's this one. Yes, it's this one here. This just tells, and that plaque tells the history of this place. I believe in 2017 this place opened, but I believe this was on the land that Wayne Gretzky grew up. And here's some more pictures here, and then here are some pictures here. Oh, these must be Wayne Gretzky's childhood pictures. There's him playing hockey, and I didn't really know much about him. All I know is, according to my friend Matt, he is one of the best hockey players in the sport, and he must have. I don't know his official stats, but he must have done a lot of interesting things. Must have made a lot of interesting accomplishments. So Dave, who just joined us, we're taking a look at photos from our recent trip to Niagara Falls and Niagara on the Lake, and this is actually a picture of Wayne Gretzky located in the Wayne Gretzky Estates, which is a winery and a distillery, and this is where we took the tour with Mom, Rachel, and Elizabeth. Our tour guide actually provided a lot of insightful information on how wine and all these different liquors are made. Even though I'm not a drinker, there were some samplings, there were some tasting opportunities, and fortunately, when it came time to me. And I was not the only non-drinker on the tour. There was somebody else who was a non-drinker, and they were nice enough to give out sparkling drinks. I think the first one was spiced apple juice, spiced apple, and then the second one was a little bit of a cranberry lime sparkling beverage. Both I enjoyed very well, and and I got to participate in the tasting, even though I don't drink. And I wanted, well, everybody's here. I do want to share a funny story about our hotel. Here's the view of the Niagara Falls from the hotel. But I do want to, well, you take in this wondrous view from outside our hotel window. I would be remiss if I didn't share this somewhat funny, some might find it funny or amusing story about what happened in the hotel Sunday morning that we didn't really expect. So the fire alarm went off. I thought it was an alarm. I thought somebody had set off an alarm clock or something, but then we heard these tones, we heard these buzzing sounds, and then the hotel management came over the loudspeaker and said the fire alarm has been activated on the 44th floor. Now keep in mind we were on the 30th floor, and then what that did was that stopped the elevators. And so the fire department did respond, and fortunately, there was no fire. Everybody was safe. But then what would happen is, because the elevators were stopped, instead of taking the elevators, we took the stairs down. Now imagine that, taking the stairs up and down. We were on the 30th floor. So that's at least 30 flights of... Well, and then to get down to breakfast was on the 9th floor. So that's at least 21 flights of stairs to go up and down, at least to get to breakfast. And then to get to the lobby, fortunately it was all downstairs from there. We ended up taking 30 flights of stairs all the way down, because there was a long line of people waiting for the elevators. The elevators weren't really moving. He grew up in who Meg? Wayne Gretzky grew up in Brantford, Ontario, which is a little west of Niagara Falls, and I believe that's where my former gaming professor Scott Nicholson lives now. He's at the Wilfrid Laurier University. Yes, Mom. 2009, just before Grandma's 90th surprise birthday, rode the Made the Mirth missed. And Janet did not join us, so she could prepare the house for Grandma's surprise party. Yep, but I know. It must be Laura. It was something else. I'll say that much. It was an experience going to Niagara Falls in the winter. It's different than going to the falls in the summer and the fall, in that it's a lot warmer. I mean, when we went, it was cold. It was windy. Yes, it was cold and was windy, and it was snowing. And keep in mind, over on the state side, they had a travel ban. Yes, they had a travel ban through Erie County because all that snow going through Buffalo, and it was tough driving back, at least going from let's say the border back to about Rochester. Once I got past Rochester, the weather was significantly improved. No snow or anything. But I wouldn't advise going back to the falls until maybe the summer, the spring, summer, and fall when it's warmer. The last time I went to the falls, the American side of the falls, was in September of 2022, and I got to see the American side of the falls. It was much nicer. We didn't have the snow or the wind to contend with, or anything like that. So I'm glad that you enjoyed the tour, the highlights of the trip. I had fun, and I'm glad that Mom, Elizabeth, and Rachel were here to join us. And speaking of hidden treasures, the last time I mentioned the first time that I went to Niagara Falls as a family with the family was back in summer of 1999, and coincidentally, that's when this CD player was made. We found this cleaning out 51 Oswego Street, and surprisingly, it still works. I was able to put a CD in it the night that I found it, put the batteries in, and I was able to play a CD, and it actually it actually worked. So what we're going to do is me being a me loving to do parody songs. I could be the next Weird Al Yankovic. I've decided that I want to try to create a parody song that goes with this CD player. It will be called CD Player, and the next song when we get back to the music is the source material, the original version that has inspired me to create this parody song. The original song is called Record. It is called Record Player. The original artists are Daisy the Great and AJR, and then after that, you'll hear one of the songs. No, actually, I'll save that for Bump It or Dump It. Please enjoy Record Player, and coming up next, we'll have Bump It or Dump It, and maybe a little bit more photo dump. And just think of it as you listen to the song. Think of it as of what I could possibly do as a parody with CD player.
I've got a record player that
And I thought, because I discovered more photos than I usually do in a week, I thought I'd go back further in time than last weekend and share some interesting photos that I found on an SD card. And the only reason why I found these is because I was trying to set up Rachel and Rod's Christmas gift, which was the digital photo frame. And instead of using the flash drive, which I know they wanted me to, they really intended for me to look at pictures of their wedding, but I decided I want to use my own. I want to use my own pictures in that frame. And while in the course of looking through the pictures here, the contents of such SD card, I came across some interesting, very interesting photos, to say the least. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to load a few up here. Let me just switch it over to the window. Okay. Sorry, let me try to get this to do what I wanted to do. Okay, Photos app. Okay, you're not able to see. What I'm going to have to do is put my display, do a display capture. There we go. So what you're seeing here are these are miniature collectibles that Grandma Lolly, that would be Mom, that would be Dad's mother. Over on the hay. So we were trying to sell these figurines on eBay, and that's why we had to take pictures of them. And unfortunately, they didn't really sell. So these must be antiques that go all the way back as far as I think the 1900s. And I don't know who this is. I know who those people are. This must have been New Year's Eve 2011. Oh, I remember that night we played my game. And here's this is Christmas Eve with Rachel and Puppy. And again, these go back almost a decade. And there's plenty more. There's Mom. There's Dad. That was my Bach Rock and Beyond marching band. There I am, opening up something. Oh, I think I know what that is. It's a thing that converts RCA or computer output to the TV. And there we are on Christmas. And there's Puppy. This must be the Baker semi-formal 2011. And this must be before. This was the swim team that Elizabeth was part of. This was Elizabeth's senior year. The swim team. That's Elizabeth and Leon. Is it Lona or Leona Sharpstein? That's Sharon Wolf. This must be Halloween. I think this is Halloween time. Or something. Yes, because I noticed the costumes. And I don't know who took the picture of their skin. This was also swim team, Elizabeth's senior year. And again, I have these rotating every 5 minutes or every hour or so on a rotating cycle in my digital picture frame, and I didn't know whether or not to wipe the SD card before showing you all these, so that if in case you wanted to keep any of these, I'd still have them. So that's why I'm showing them to you now. It's interesting because on this board here, I don't know if it's still on this board, but Rachel's senior year, it was either Rachel's junior year or senior year, that she was part of a relay that set a school record, and that's still on the board. I don't know if it's still on the board, but it was on this board here. This is the river. This is the dock that the boats dock into when they come into town. And the reason why I took these pictures is because we needed some way to demonstrate Mom's use of Mom's lock into an experience trademark, and we figured the best way to do that would be to showcase these pictures here and put them on some sort of website or print source. And that's probably why these pictures are on here. This is actually out towards Albany. I don't know exactly where, but these are all the gravestones, the graves where, again, Grandma Lolly's side of the family, her relatives, that side of the family, they're all buried. Her maiden name was Countermine. That's why you see that name listed through all of these grave sites. We took a picture of this house for some reason. Again, this is all south of Albany, and Graham and I went there one summer. More pictures of stuff that we were planning to put on eBay and didn't sell. And I don't know what's going on in this picture. It looks like they're trying to dance to something here. Again, more pictures pop. This is, I want to say, '09. Yeah, this is '09 because this is when we played the Wizards in Winter Trans-Siberian Orchestra. See Connor and Hannah Murphy, then Elizabeth and I were participated in that piece. And this is my 21st birthday. Look how young I am. It's just amazing. Look how young I am. The cake, and congratulations. This was, I don't know what this was for. Probably some sort of achievement. And I remember seeing this board here. I didn't know if it was for swimming. Here we see Scrabble. And more pictures of Puppy. This, I don't know where this is. This must be some camps. This is Rachel and Nikki Gummer, so this goes back all the way to 2009. Here I am graduating from OCC Onondaga Community College. There's Grandma No Bumps, and the pipe band played at the graduation ceremony. There I am getting the award for, I think it was Phi Theta Kappa, the Honor Society Honors, and here's Rachel and somebody else. I don't know exactly who this person is. And here's Rachel, Nikki, and Molly Tarsal. We're going all the way back to 2008 at this point. Double rainbow. And now to top it all off, these are the contents of the garage over at 33 Downer Street. I believe there was a flood or something, and we had to document, I think for the insurance, we had to document everything that was inside that garage in order to get some sort of, to open some sort of an insurance claim or to do something. And these pictures again go all the way back to the spring of, I want to say, 2008. So these pictures are at least 16 years old. And when I opened up the SD card, I was blown away with all the pictures that were still on here. And I'm sure you want to keep them. I hope you enjoyed that blast from the past. And if anybody still wants those pictures again, you're gonna have to contact me offline, and I'll find a way to. The water pipes and the water pipes in the garage broke that year. Maybe it was 2010. No, I think it was 2008 or 9. 2008 or 9. If I remember, the water pipes in the garage broke that year. So, please contact me individually if you want copies of all the pictures, or some of those pictures that I showed you. I know there are some that are. There are probably some that are valuable to Rachel and Elizabeth that you might want. So we'll get that settled offline. In the meantime, it's time to do the famous Bump It or Dump It segment. Yes, Mom, you want copies of the pictures? We're going to have to send. And the only way that I can send you copies of the pictures is bring over the SD card and then either put them on a flash drive or copy them directly over to the PC. And in case Rachel, you missed it, we were showing all of these pictures from the SD card. A 14-year-old SD card, and keep the pictures. Yes. Elizabeth and Rachel, I don't know. No, it's not the flash drive that is in Mom's purse. I still have the flash drive that Rachel and Rod gave me for Christmas. But Rachel and Elizabeth, how much of... I know there were pictures of you and your friends that and family that... that's one that could have interesting pics. But if you need... we'll try to make arrangements to make digital copies or alternate copies of the contents of this flash drive so that everybody who wants to have the... I'll post them on the Google... What I'll do is actually I'll post them on the Google Drive or the OneDrive, and once I can find... I do have a new SD card, and I have lots of... And I could get a new flash drive. But in terms of sharing the pictures that are already on this one with people, I'm talking about this flash drive this SD card that I just showed the contents of. If any of you, like Rachel, Elizabeth, Mom, if you still want these pictures, what I'm going to do is later on, I'm going to take them and post them on either the OneDrive or our shared Google OneDrive or shared Google Drive. Then I'll send you a link to the folder and you can download it on your own time. Okay, need to... I understand, Elizabeth, you're short on time, so let's get right into Bump It or Dump It. We have 3 songs. Two of them start with A. The artists of 2 of them start with A, and the next one starts with a B. So I think we're going to switch these. So I think I'm going to swap these. And so that Elizabeth can participate in at least one of the Bump It or Dump It's. So the first song is actually, it's not a new one. It actually goes back to 1999. We were talking about the CD player, and one of the CDs that we used to play in this was Britney Spears' debut album, Baby One More Time. And the song that I remembered the most wasn't the debut single, wasn't the hit you're all thinking of. It was actually this one, track number 5 on the CD. And if you play it now, it actually skips. But here, you'll hear the song free and clear. It won't skip on you. So as soon as you hear it, I'm sure memories are going to come back. And please, vote Bump It or Dump It. And good luck to everybody. We'll have the results after we play all 3 songs. All 3 songs. Okay, and we're back. Testing one,
Okay.
2, 3. Apparently, I miscalculated the duration of that last song, so it was ending early, but apparently everybody was dumping it. So, I'm sure it's not a loss to everybody if I ended it early. Given the last couple of shows, the last few shows that I'm doing, given the dump votes for certain songs that I've seen on this show, I get what you like and I get what you don't like. I know it's what this particular group of listeners tends to prefer, but unfortunately, if you like it or not, that's where Top 40 Radio CHR is going these days. And as per anything, and this has happened over the course of history, there's going to be certain songs that they might be overproduced, have that poppy, auto-tuned sound that not everybody likes, but they take off and become hits. And then there are other ones that just sound terrible. Some of them sound terrible, others sound great, and they're able to take off, or they become what they call chart floppers. So I realized there were some of these two of the songs there that got dumps. I thought we were going to get at least one bump out of them, because especially that first one. That first one, it shares a lot of memories in my heart and mind. But anyway, I can tell that there was a clear winner there, and I know that everybody has a different opinion on what actually constitutes as real or authentic music, and what is just garbage to them, and I respect that. We are, because I am a man of charts, or at least I try to be an efficient radio programmer as I can. Unfortunately, or fortunately, even though the last one did get a unanimous dump, I am carrying that one forward because it's currently playing on the radio as we speak, and eventually hopefully it'll take off and become a big hit. Anyway, I want to keep the Britney Spears one too, so unfortunately these bumper or dump votes didn't really matter, and I apologize for that, because I really want to take your voice, take your preferences into consideration. This is your station as much as mine. But as promised, we're going to play the winning song that got the unanimous bumps to take us out. And to everyone, I'll say Mazel Tov, and we'll see everyone next week, and we'll take a look at, and I'm hoping to take a look at the dresser tomorrow. And believe it or not, I gotta tease this. Believe it or not, next Friday's show is the 26th, which is the day before Plane Day. So you don't want to miss. That, because hopefully, if my plans are, Plane Day is the day that I flew over from Korea to the United States, and usually I honor that tradition by flying, recreating that flight on the flight simulator. So that'll be to come next week. It's the pre-Plane Day kickoff, where you'll actually watch me take off, or at least start the flight, the simulated flight from South Korea, out of South Korea. And Mom, if you're on, hopefully we'll take a look at the dresser tomorrow, or over the weekend. And with that, I'll say Mazel Tov, and we'll see you next week.
Put your hands up, 'cause I